My name is Dave Morrow. 9 months of each year, I live out of my vehicle. I travel the wilderness by foot on an endless backpacking and landscape photography trip. I want to teach and share the photography and outdoor skills that I use on these trips. I don't want to spend hours editing video or sitting in front of a computer, so I made some rules. First, everything's shot on GoPro. This was the best way I found to record quickly on a consistent basis. Second, I can only spend 20 minutes editing each video. So thanks for watching, and welcome to the Landscape Photography Journals.
So I've been out in the deserts of Utah for about 4 weeks now, backpacking and taking photos on my current landscape photography trip. But I'm going to show you my current packing technique to take all of my lightweight summer/desert gear and pack it into this pack, along with my camera right here and my tripod, which the GoPro is on. But this technique will work if you're a landscape photographer. It will also work if you just want to go out backpacking. 9 months of the year I'm out backpacking and traveling and living out of this backpack. So I'm going to show you some very efficient ways to pack it for summer weather. And then in some future videos, I'll have some other techniques for different seasons as well. So I have my bag here, which is the Seek Outside Exposure Pack. It has a main compartment, and then one outside compartment, and then a water compartment, and then 2 side compartments. So I'm going to pack this main compartment first. So what I do here is I have my sleeping bag, tent, clothes in a dry sack that includes a few other things that I'll cover in another video. And then I have a trash compactor bag. This is like a trash bag, but much heavier, probably 2 or 3 mil thick material. So I'm going to put this into the bottom of the bag. And when I do that, it'll keep everything when I'm down in the canyons or streams or whatever from getting wet. Now you can't submerge something when it's in this bag, but it'll keep it dry from rainstorms, anything else, so I don't have to use one of those little tarps that go over the outside of my pack. Just wrap my stuff in here. So I'll put this in the very bottom of the pack. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my sleeping bag, which I want a light compressible thing at the very bottom of my pack so I can fill all the possible small niches and crannies that'll be down there that wouldn't get filled by a more rigid item. Just stuff this in. So I want to make sure that I'm really compressing it down in there to all the cracks as much as possible. And then on top of that is going to go my tent and the small stuff sack. Now if the tent's wet, you can put it in another trash compactor bag for like wet stuff from a specific trip. But my tent's dry right now, so I'll stuff it down there as well. And I'm just filling all the cracks with that very compressible stuff. Next thing is my Thermarest X-Lite air mattress, very small, but I can smash that down in some cracks next to the sleeping bag in the tent. So now those things are compressed maybe 4 inches in height to the very bottom of my bag. The next thing I'll do is I'll take this dry sack, and for the dry sacks I always squeeze all the air out so I can compress it a lot. And I'm going to put that down in there too. So now that that's done, I'm going to wrap this bag. So all I do is for all this stuff I want to keep dry, I take the back side of the bag and just tuck it between this side of the bag and all the gear that's in the bottom of it. And then I'll just fold this in back and tuck it over. So by taking one side, folding it in, tucking it in, and then the other side and folding that over, it'll kind of keep me from getting any rain or water in there. But like I said, you can't fully submerge with just this trash compactor bag. But it is good for scenarios where you'll just get heavy rain, snow, or down in deserts where you're hiking in, like canyons where you're up to maybe here in water and your whole bag isn't submerged. So the next thing I do is I take my tent poles, which were not with the tent. The tent's just by itself, no stakes, no poles. The poles and the stakes are here. I'm just going to put them on the inside of my bag, smashed down to the very bottom. That's good. So they're just right here. So this is the stuff that goes with me into my tent at night. I have another video that covers gear that I'll link with this. That goes inside right here because I only need it at night. I don't need quick access during the day. So this is stuff that I don't need until I have my camp set up for the night and I'm ready to kind of set down and unpack. That's why it goes on the inside of the bag. The next thing I do is take all my food for the trip, which I carry in this. This is an animal-proof, very lightweight sack. It's called a Ure sack. I'll link it somewhere so you can find it, but this is apparently bear-proof. But if you want to go out backpacking and you're going to go away from your camp for the day and do side trips, I can hang this in a tree and squirrels or birds or something else won't rip apart all my food, because that can happen anywhere. So I take this sack with me everywhere. It protects one of my most valuable assets in the backcountry, and that's energy. If I'm out here for a long time and I lose food 4 days from my vehicle, you're going to be in big trouble, right? So I protect my food with this Zero sack. So I put that right on top of the trash compactor bag. And now I just stand up and I smash all that stuff down in there. So it's really compressed. And I like how this Seek Outside exposure pack folds open like this so you can grab multiple things. So the next thing I have is my Jetboil stove. Very small, lightweight stove. It also provides a cup. So I use this to eat all my meals, drink all my coffee, everything else, eat out of. I don't have bowls, I don't have a bunch of extra stuff. I have a spoon, and I have a Jetboil, that's it. It's lightweight, small. Take this, and I shove this in front of the food down on top of that trash compactor bag. So that trash compactor bag has the very moldable or soft items in it. So if I push the Jetboil down into that, it won't take up as much space because those items will kind of fold or mold around it. So I push that down in front. You can see that all that stuff is fit into, I don't know, 1.5 feet there, something like that. So the next thing on top of that be my camera. I have an f-stop ICU that holds my camera and lenses. I have another gear video on that, which I'll link for you guys. So you can see that my camera is very easy access in here throughout the day if I need it. So now I will just zip this main compartment up. So that's all done, that's all packed. Now I need to fill the outside compartment. This is all stuff I'll need during the day, quick access stuff that I don't want to have to dig down in my bag for. So I have the day's snacks right in this bag, a few bars, some almonds, some banana chips. I have another video on backpacking food I'll link. My topo map of the area that I'm in. When I'm out in the deserts, snake bite and bee sting kit, mostly for snake bites being rattlesnakes or pit vipers, which will take you out if you don't cure it. So this sucks the venom back out if you're lucky. Very small, lightweight camp trowel. I like this trowel a lot. It's made by thetentlab.com. I'll link it below. It's a very small aluminum trowel that weighs absolutely nothing. 17 grams, 0.6 ounces. Keep that in there. I don't carry toilet paper. Figure out other ways that you don't need toilet paper when you live out here long enough. I don't prefer it. I don't want to carry it out, and I don't want to litter. I have the possibility of littering out here. Headlamp, just a black diamond headlamp of some sort. It's bright. It's somewhat water resistant. First aid kit, water purification, and first aid kit. I use water drops. That's all in here. SPF, suntan lotion, and rope. Now this is not a heavy duty rope. It'll probably hold 150 pounds is what it's rated at, but it's 20 meters of rope, so I can pull bags up and down ledges if I'm out here by myself. I can hang food if I need to. I can help to rescue while not putting all my weight on a rope, but by pulling other people's bags up if they need help. So I always carry that. And you always want to make sure all that stuff I just listed, especially quick access stuff, is right up there. I carry my cell phone in my pocket, which is what I use for backcountry navigation. It's a GPS that I have downloaded on my phone. I'll link what I use below. And what else do I carry? I carry my compass, but it's back in here. Now, I normally just navigate by knowing where I'm going or checking my topo map. If I need a compass, it's pretty rare. I'd rather just grab my GPS quickly first, reference it, and go from there. The compass is if your GPS breaks, you need to know how to use it. So you need to know how to navigate without a GPS that connects to GPS or satellite. So the next thing you need to do after that is learn how to use a topo map, read where you are, and triangulate using a compass so you can find out where you are. You have to have those tools if you're going to come out in the wilderness by yourself, unless you want to risk dying. So I would highly recommend learning that stuff. Camelback, 3 liters of water, and this just goes right in this front pocket right here. So there's the water connected, all good there. And then it has these little loops that I can hang the water on. Last thing is this plastic bottle, which is like my emergency reserve bottle because it's hard and it won't pop like the Camelback. So I carry 3 liters in here at a time for the desert, another 1.5 liters in here. I don't drink out of this unless I have to, meaning I'm out of this one. But if this popped, then I always have that backup. So Camelback's good, but it should never be your only source of water containment out in the backcountry. Then I have my blue spoon. This is a famous blue spoon. So I'm gonna put that in there on the outside, all good. So the last thing I have is my tripod, which I have over there under the camera. So I'll pull this into handheld mode and I'll show you how I strap up the sides. All right, so all my gear is now packed in the pack. My tripod is here strapped to the side. Now I like to carry the tripod on this side because I can easily stop, and my right hand accesses all these clips when I'm stopped like this. If I was left-handed, I'd probably put it on the other side. Another reason I like this 1.5 liters of full water here is because it offsets the weight of the tripod here, making the overall center of gravity back in the center of the pack when I'm hiking. The same goes for holding water off the back center instead of on the side. So everything's equalized in terms of load. I don't have a bunch of stuff hanging off the outside of the pack, you notice? Like I don't have a bunch of carabiners with gear or things I think I might need. The key is to carry what you do need so you can reduce the size of your pack. So this is a 6-day pack with food for 5 nights and 6 days, all packed down, pretty small. And one thing to remember, I pack all this stuff in the same exact spots every single time. So when I actually go through and pack and don't teach, I'm just quickly assembling everything, and at night I quickly tear it down, get my tent set up. The key is also with having everything in the same spot all the time. If you're headed out to go on a backpacking trip and you're packing, if you're missing something, your system will automatically show that because something will be missing from its spot. So that's how I remember through all these years not to really forget stuff too often, is because if everything has a spot for a purpose trip, then I should know if something's missing or not. So make it a very agile system where it's quick to plug different parts in depending on the different seasons and temperatures. But in a future video, I will cover different seasons for heavier loads and different backpacking purposes, such as like winter and fall travel and stuff like that. So the last thing I carry with me that doesn't really go in my pack, but I keep in my pocket, is this ACR Rescue Link. So this pops up an antenna. So I can pop up the antenna like this. There's a button here. And if I push that, it will go up to satellite and it'll send a signal to whoever the local authority is, and they'll contact search and rescue and somebody will come find me. So I carry this when I'm with people, but I especially carry it for when I'm by myself. And the key with this is that if you have one, which I'll link this one below for you, is that it's not buried down in your pack, because chances are the way you're going to get hurt when you're out backpacking by yourself is you're climbing on something, you are hiking and you slide and fall, but you fall down a rock face or something steep and you fall into an area where you might have a broken leg or you can't move, but your rescue beacon's buried in your pack. So it doesn't really help you there. So carry it in your pocket. It's very small. Put it here or in a shirt pocket. I prefer to just carry it in my pants pocket. And then when I go rafting, I just put it right on my life jacket there. So this won't do you any good unless it's easy to access. Also, when I'm driving on back roads in the middle of nowhere, I then just keep this up by my stick shift or my manual shift in my vehicle. Then if something happened, if I got in a bad accident where there's no cell phone service, I can just grab this. And these are about $350. I use them and carry them everywhere I go. It's a cheap life insurance policy, and it's a little bit of a help if you are about to die and you need somebody to help you out. So hopefully this video and all the packing and gear helped you out. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.